Hey guys, it's me Stace. Today we are not doing a Pinterest inspired project. Instead we'll be using the Cricut machine to cut out some vinyl to put on this piece of wood. I found this wood in our shed. It measures about 22 by about 9.5 inches tall, and I did want to age it some, so I used some metallic paint I already have. I have a copper color and a smoke color, which is like a gray color. I put those on first, blended that in with a rag, then I went over that with some white paint just to kind of tone down some of the metallic because it was rather shiny. It still has a nice sheen to it, but it's not so shiny. The back side I did leave blank. Now my plan for this is to put vinyl on it and come up with a saying that has to do with land. If you guys are following me, a lot of you guys know that hubby and I put an offer in on a piece of property at the ending of September. An offer was accepted and we actually closed this Monday the 23rd. So that'll be just a nice memory piece for hubby and I. So the back I did leave unfinished, like I said. And I did write up a little letter or a story about the process because it was rather daunting, this whole buying land kind of thing. So I'm going to Mod Podge that right to the back of this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my vinyl. I'm not going to take you guys to the Cricut because you'll see the saying once I come up with it. I'll put it here. And I will also list the font I use inside Cricut Design Space. But if you want to copy this, you can of course use any font you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and load my mat, cut my vinyl out, weed my vinyl, then come back and we'll put this on and we'll also Mod Podge the letter to the back. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright guys, we are back. You can see everything is cut out and weeded, and you can see the saying says, this land is your land and this land is my land. This land was meant for you and me. And the date to 11/23/2020. I did change the word. It said this land was made for you and me. I did change it to meant because I do think that property was kind of meant for hubby and I. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. I already have my transfer tape cut. And I'm just using this clear tape. I get this from Amazon or 651vinyl.com or brilliantvinyl.com. And I already ran it across my pants a few times so it wasn't so sticky. Alright, now what I'm going to do now is take this and tape this to my mat so it kind of stays still for me. Alright, and the other end. And I did trim this as well so it wasn't so long. And I have a credit card all lined up here, or a little gift card. Now I'm going to take my tape, and how I like to do this is lay my tape down on my mat first, not actually on the lettering. And then I take the credit card and I just kind of roll it across. Okay, and then I'm just going to rub it down a little bit, or a lot, and all the dirt that's in there will come off. Alright, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to trim this as well, all this extra tape off. Otherwise it's going to get in my way. And this tape, you can reuse this. I've reused it many times. Alrighty, let's do this end, and then we'll do the top, and then we'll be ready to stick it down on our wood, which is the most nerve-wracking part, because you want to make sure it's straight, centered, and all that good stuff, and I need to eyeball it. I might be able to use a ruler, though. I'm going to try it. Okay, all that's trimmed up. Let's bring our wood back over. And I have a ruler here. Let me go ahead and get my longer ruler. Okay. So now we can kind of see how this is going to work. Alright, so I want it about here. So, you know what? We're just going to try to figure out the easiest way to do this. I need to redo this letter, some of these letters here. This part is really important. You want to make sure that your vinyl sticks to this tape. So I think what I'm going to do is take half of it off first. And I'm just kind of rolling it. See my, hey, there we go. I want to make sure all your letters are coming up. I do lay this down flat. So you can see my E, my D is not coming up. might need to work it a little bit. Just take your time. Your letters are being finicky. Just go back and work them a little bit. Okay, so my goal is to get half of these letters off. That A is being stubborn. There we go. So I'm going to get half of them off, and then we can lay it down. Okay, so I think we're going to stop at this S once I get all this up. There we go. Okay, I'm going to stop there and just fold that behind me. So now I have part of my lettering exposed and part of it not exposed. And so I can kind of see how this is going to go. Actually, I can't do it that way. Alright, so I'm going to go back and take the rest of this off. That paper's in my way. I know a lot of people do it that way, like the hinge method. That confuses me more. So I'm going to just go ahead and get the rest of these off. If it's not straight, it's not straight, right? The way I look at it, nobody's perfect, and my sign does not need to be. Alright, so get the rest of these off. Nice and slow, make sure they're all coming up. Okay, so far so good. Can we make it to the end? Alright, much better. Alright, now I'm going to eyeball it. So I'm not laying it down, I'm just kind of floating it on top. Okay, this is the hardest part, making sure this is straight. So I'm just going to work at the top, trying to get it lined up. Can you guys tell me that's straight? I can't tell. Oh my lord, I got stuff everywhere. Alright, so I'm going to kind of put that there as a guide. Okay, so that's 1 inch from the end, roughly. Alright, so if I line my letters up with that, the lower half of my letters, it looks like that might work. Alright, we're going to go for it, guys. Alright, I got this side stuck down. And again, I'm going to take, I have all this lifted up, take this and just rub it across. Hopefully I am straight. I don't think I am. That's why normally I like putting things on Cricut, because if you're off by a smidgen, I got a bump there. You want to try not to get the bumps in there. Really give this a good rub, and now we're going to peel this off. And now this part, I do lay the tape down flat with my board. If you pull up straight, you're going to cause stress on the vinyl, which makes the vinyl pucker and have bubbles in there. And this is Oracal 651 vinyl, but I have used contact paper before. I even used contact paper at one point on the back of my, in the back window in my car, and it stayed on there for years. So if you don't have the fancy vinyl, no need to. Just run to Walmart and pick up some contact paper. They have all kinds of nice patterns as well. So you don't need to spend the money on patterned vinyl when you can buy patterned contact paper. All right, so it's coming off, looking pretty good. And I don't seal this. I was asked many times if I ever seal my vinyl. I never have, and I've had stuff that's been vinyled for years. and that's been washed. Like I even spray it with like a Windex or a dusting spray, and it holds up fine. Perfect. All right, now if this wasn't so crinkly, I would keep this, but I'm going to dispose of this because it's all crinkly. All right, so now I think we're pretty close to being straight, guys. I'm going to say that's a good job. What do you think? Let me see. All right, so about 1 inch from the bottom and about 1 inch from the top. I'm going to let her straight. I'm going to see if I can line up. All right, so at this mark and this mark. We're pretty close. I mean, I may be off by a smidgen, but a smidgen is fine with me. All right, so that's my saying. That's my wood. I do like it. I'm a little bit, I think I'm close to being centered. And I think I have some tape here. Yep. Okay. And now we're going to flip it over and put our saying on it. And I will block out my new address here, just so I get this on here. And I just typed this out in on the computer. All right, and I have my Mod Podge. I actually make my own Mod Podge. I do 2 parts glue to 1 part water. A lot cheaper that way. All right, we're going to take this and pour some in this little cup. And I'm actually going to Mod Podge the entire thing. So I'm going to have to expose my, you're going to see my address, but I will blur it in the video. So, all right. So just get that on it nice and straight, and then kind of in the middle. And we're going to Mod Podge. I'm first going to do the whole board first, just so my paper will stick down. And you don't need to go super heavy with this either, just enough to make it's tacky. And it's glue, so it'll dry nice and clear. And I would recommend a foam brush with this, but I don't have a foam brush. So I'm using this good brush, which I didn't want to use. This brush we got this from Home Depot. It's really good for cutting and paint. All right, just a nice, thin, even coat all over this. Then lay this down, and we have a little bit of wiggle room if we're not so straight, but I think that's pretty good. Now we're going to Mod Podge over this. That way it protects it, and it also seals that paper in. Now I did let the ink sit for a little bit. I don't know if ink would run or not. I know some things the ink can run or bleed through. You want to make sure you get them edges really, really well. And I think we are done. So I'm going to let this dry really, really well. And then I'll probably come back in, depending on how it looks, and put a second coat on. But you don't want to go, you want to do as many coats as you want to, but you want each coat to be nice and thin. If you have too thick of a coat on here, you're going to find it's going to bubble, and you don't want that. And I think the ink is bleeding a little bit, so I'm going to call it done. Let it sit, and we'll come back and see the finished project. But that's how it looks on that side with my saying on it. I think that turned out really good, and I think this will look really cool in the new house. All right, guys, there you have it. Any questions at all, please let me know. As always, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.